Can you all hear me okay? Can you all tell me?
Yes.
Okay, anybody else hear me?
Yes.
Grab the mic.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Hold on.
Got a new club.
All right,
No, I didn't do that.
okay. All right, this is your warm-up, and I'm sorry this took so long. Would everyone type in the chat, ready? Can everyone type in the chat, ready? So I know.
Ready.
Ready. All right, can you turn your mic off, please? Just because I hear everything in the background.
Okay.
Can anybody hear me?
New one?
Turn your mic off.
No, look.
That's showing up on mine, is it?
Somebody's microphone, would everybody mute themselves? Just check to see that you're muted. Okay, let's start, okay? Here's our warm-up for today. What is the measure of angle TRV? You're going to put your answers in the chat. I'm going to start the timer on my phone. We're late in getting started, so we're going to be very attentive. Get started right now. Turn your mic off. Everyone hit the mute button, please. All right. So, thank you. All right. For warm up, we are being asked, what is the measure of angle TRV? Can you all see this PowerPoint or this PDF? Holler at me. Okay. So I'm going to ask that you, on your phones, go ahead and hit the timer and help me in timing. We're going to do 2 minutes on this warm up, okay? We won't have a whole lot of time. So 2 minutes, go ahead and get started. And then you're going to put your answers in the chat. Thank you, Andy. Got a minute 30 left. Minute 30 left. You don't need phones. All you need to do, oh, you don't have phones. Well, I'm timing it, Annie's typing it. You have a minute and 15 seconds. All right. Just go ahead and solve for X and we'll see how you're doing. Do you remember the concept from yesterday? The two labeled angles are linear pairs and they're supplementary. They share side TR. They are formed on angle SRV. Okay, so all I'm asking for you to do is solve for X and give me the measure of TRV. Just the countdown is at 45 seconds, so let's hold off. You guys are smart. You is smart. You is kind. You is beautiful. All right. I think I messed that up. You is kind. You is smart. What's the last one? That's from The Help. Yes. Does anybody know that line? I don't remember. Okay. All right, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Answers in the chat for X, and there you go. The timer's up. All right, we got our answers, right? All right. Okay, so with that said, you look like you're in pretty good shape. All right, let's take a look. All right, what is the measure of angle TRV? It's 130 degrees. Very good. All right. All right. Any questions? I want to just have you take a look. The two angles are linear pairs and they're supplementary. Therefore, using the angle addition postulate, 2x plus 10 plus x minus 10 equals 180. So you're just adding using the angle addition postulate. And then 3x equals 180, x equals 60, substituting in 2 times 60 plus 10. All right, moving on then. You're rocking this. Okay, so today we're going to cover two sections, 203 and 204. Today is August 27th. We have our GCA vision and mission and our code of conduct. Here we are, it's Tuesday the 27th. We're covering sections 203 and 204, parallel and perpendicular lines and lines cut by a transversal. We have some learning targets. Does anybody want to pick up the mic and read some of our learning targets? Please volunteer in the chat. Just let me know. All right, very good. Okay. Katana, go ahead and grab the mic and read our learning targets.
I can solve for angle measurements when parallel lines are cut by a transversal. I can complete the steps to prove angle relationships given parallel lines cut by a transversal. I can construct parallel and perpendicular lines. I can identify parallel, perpendicular, and skew lines from three-dimensional figures. I can solve problems involving the distance from a point on the perpendicular bisector to both endpoints of the line segment.
Okay, thank you. All right. I'm going to ask that you watch the video. Can you all still hear this? Can you all still hear me? Yes or no? Yes, okay. All right, so here is the video I want you to take a quick look at. It's short. All right. Go ahead and take a look at that. It's 2 minutes and 50 seconds. And you all can't give me red X's right now, but just let me know when you're done watching. Oh, you can give red X's? Tell me how. All right, everyone's watching. So let's see, can you give red X's in the chat? the participant panel. Okay, because we're not in. Okay, don't worry about it. Just let me know you're done watching. It's just music, so you're just pretty much watching evidence of parallel lines in nature. Let me know when you're done, please. Let me know when you're done. Okay, I want everyone to mute the video. Stop the video. And everybody let me know in the chat that you stopped the video. Can you all hear me? Okay, thank you. Okay, let's take a look at my spotlight here. If two lines, they don't have to be parallel, so we have these two lines here that appear to be horizontal and have a third line that crosses them as in the figure below. The crossing line is called a transversal. Now, what makes a transversal special? Now, if I go ahead and draw, again, another pair of lines, they don't have to be parallel. And let's see. Okay, check this out. Here's my transversal. And, well, what we think is a transversal. And it intersects the other two lines at the same point. So right there, at the same point. Okay, if you notice the transversal here crosses at two different points. So with a transversal, it has to intersect two or more lines at different points. So this would not be a transversal. Okay, any questions about what is and what's not? Communicate to me because I don't have any, you can't give me emojis or anything. Do you know the difference between a transversal and not a transversal? Okay, all right. So not a transversal, this one here. All right, moving on. All right. We were going to have you work with a partner, but we don't have time for that, so we're going to move on. All right. So now, in the following figure, if we draw parallel lines, then draw a line transversal through them, we'll get 8 angles. Can you count the 8? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Understood? And does anybody know, let me ask you this. Everyone see the 8 angles formed? Okay. Now we do use, we do use little arrows on the line to indicate that they are parallel. So if I make little arrows, okay? So since they both have one set of arrows, then they are parallel. Okay. With that said, we have 8 angles that are formed, right? And by the way, piggybacking on yesterday's lesson, what do we know about angle D and B? D and B, what type of angles are they? Tell me in the chat. Well, not all lines have to be parallel in order to have a transversal, but now we're talking strictly parallel lines, okay? All right, what type of angles are B and D, or C and A, or G and E, or F and H? They are congruent because they are vertical angles. Very good. All right. Remember, vertical angles only share a vertex. They're formed by intersecting lines. They only share a vertex, okay? And they have no sides in common, and they're opposite one another, okay? So here's the new material, okay? All right. 2 angles that are opposite one another, B and D, okay, B and D, look at the photo, are called vertical angles. They're always congruent, okay? So I'm right here. So A, F, G, and D are vertical angles, okay? Or exterior angles. A, D, F, and G are called exterior angles. B, E, H, and C are interior angles. And A, G, F, and D. So let's go to A, G, F, and D. Follow your eyes. A, G, F, and D. So we're talking about opposite angles in the exterior. Those are alternate exterior angles, and they're equal. B, E, H, and C. B, E, H, and C are not opposite angles, but they're in the interior on the same side of the transversal. And they are the only ones that are supplementary. So the measure of E and B is 180. H and C is 180. Okay? All right. Alternate exterior angles we talked about. A and E, C and G. A and E. If I slide the bottom 4 angles, A, B, C, and D, onto the top 4 angles, they would match up. A would coincide with E if I slide these bottom 4. Vertical angles are supplementary. I mean, vertical angles are congruent, so C and A are congruent. A and B are linear pairs from the warm-up. They're supplementary. All right, what I'm going to have you do next is I'm going to ask you to watch this YouTube video, okay? It's about 8 minutes long, but I think it's excellent and it's worth the time, okay? So everyone's going to watch this video now. It's in the, okay. All right, everybody click on the video. It's in the chat and watch this video. Okay, can everybody please go ahead and watch the video now? Can you give me some kind of indication that you're watching? All right, thank you, Annie. Thank you, Heather. Thank you, Alec, Alexa, Matthew, Jason. Who else is watching? Who else is there watching? All right, go ahead and watch. It's 8 minutes long. for really good videos. Okay, if you're done, put done in the chat. If you're done, put done in the chat. Thank you. Okay. Now, all right. Can you all see my screen, my PowerPoint now? Can you all still see that? Okay, great. All right. All right, so now we're moving on. I'm going to send you a copy of this PDF I'm going to post it in Canvas, but just a couple things. By the way, I do want to stress, remember, if you know angle 1, go across. It's congruent to angle 4, 5, and 8. They're all congruent to each other. I don't know how to get different colors. And then 10 is congruent to 11, is congruent to 14. We can go in the other direction. So just know that that's how you can, it's kind of like a puzzle, but you can do that kind of crisscross to solve for missing angles. All right, there is a construction. Okay, there is no better way for me to explain it than to have you watch it being done. And then there is a quiz question, okay? And then one thing I do want to mention, I have a video that, can you all click on this, or I can put it in the chat, on skew lines, okay? Here it is. It kind of explains skew lines. And let me go ahead and put that in the chat. Okay, if you want to watch that. So skew lines, you notice if you think of the top plane and the bottom plane as sheets of paper and you hold them a distance apart, line L is in the top piece of paper or plane and K is in the bottom plane. You notice they're in different planes, so they're not on the same surface, okay? And they'll never intersect. They're not parallel because they are on different planes or different surfaces. So check this out. This line here in the top corner of the box and this line here, they're in different planes. This line's in the bottom plane. This plane is in the right plane. They don't intersect, but they're not parallel. They're skew because they're in different faces of the prism. Okay? So it's in the top plane as well, or the right plane. This is in the bottom plane or the side, the plane facing us. They appear to be parallel, but they're not called parallel because they're in different planes. They're called skew. All right, so now I'm going to send you a PDF. In the chat, tell me, are you yellow, red, or green? Stop, I'm totally confused. That would be a red. Go, give me a green in the chat. Proceed with caution. You need some clarification. Give me a yellow, okay? All right, folks, everybody, give me a green, yellow, red, whatever you're feeling right now. All right, looking pretty good, looking pretty good. Okay, of course, this class does not make up all the content in 203 and 204. Please read and take your quizzes. I notice many of you are missing assignments. You have lots of zeros. Please take care of this. You don't want to fall behind. You all have a great day. You've been great putting up with Jigsaw. Have an awesome rest of your day. Okay? Bye-bye. Thank you, Heather. Thank you, Lanata. You're all free to go. Zelly, are you there? Okay. Ezekiel, are you there? Katana, are you there? Lillian? Y'all, class is over. You're free to go.